What's up, you guys? It's Greg. So today we have the next episode in the Real Cost series, and we're going to be talking about fencing. If you don't know what the Real Cost series is, this is a series for investors or homeowners that are willing to DIY the entire project. I'm going to use my experience to break down the numbers of what it would actually cost you to purchase just the materials from your local big box store. Now, let me be clear. Fencing is not a good way to increase the value of your property. From an investment standpoint, let's say you're going ahead and you're flipping a house, and then you're thinking, oh, I want to put a fence in because that'll attract people with children and with dogs. Honestly, you're going to get people walking through the house and they're going to be able to envision their own family there and be like, oh, this yard would be great with a fence, because that's a typical homeowner behavior. So you don't need to spend your hard-earned money and give up profit that you could have had in your pocket when they're going to go and put a fence in, regardless if it has one or not. And same goes for a homeowner. If you want a fence for yourself, to keep your kids in the yard or your animals, and just to have that peace of mind, that's fine. But just understand that you can spend $3,000 on a fence, or you could spend $3,000 redoing a kitchen. And one of those, the fence, is going to cost you $3,000, and the kitchen's actually going to improve the value of your house. So as long as you keep that in mind, we can go ahead and move forward. I'm going to break down the numbers for you. And we decided to put a fence in at our house, just so we can let the dog out in the middle of the winter and then not have to stand out there with him, so he can just be out there and enjoy the outside. So we have 320 feet that need to get fenced in. And if you are looking at fencing right now, you probably know that's a little bit difficult to find fencing. So we ended up finding fencing at Lowe's and ended up spending $1,500 on 45 sections of 3.5-foot fencing. And I know it's kind of expensive. We didn't want to go with the traditional 6-foot fencing because when we move in a couple of years, this is going to become a rental, and we want to be able to drive by and see what's going on in the yard. So we have 45 sections of fence for $1,500, and then also I bought 24 4x4s by 8, $410. My goal was to actually just go ahead and cut those in half, and then that would double the supply. And we're going to get into that a little bit later on why I can do that as opposed to why I need the extra footage. And then we have hardware at $57, and then I bought a 5-pound pack of screws for $30. You'll probably want some type of post level, which I didn't have, which is another $5 from Home Depot. And then I actually decided to go ahead and put the 4x4 supports in. So they're actually, you actually drive them down to the ground. It basically makes it so that you don't have to dig out a hole, support the 4x4 with concrete. So there wasn't actually any cost savings. It actually costs more to do this, but just from the time savings of not having to rent a post hole auger and dig the hole and fill them with concrete and all these extra steps, especially when we're only putting in a 3.5-foot picket fence, it seemed like the time-saving opportunity outweighed the actual cost. So we actually found these on Amazon, and you nearly sell them at both Home Depot and Lowe's, but they were like expensive at Home Depot. I think they were $23 or $24 a piece, and at Amazon they were $15. So we ended up buying 11 packs of 4 for $660. And then I went to Home Depot. You can either get barn or fence paint. Bear has a good one. It's actually fairly affordable, or you can get like a clear sealer, and I'm just going to run that through the sprayer. I don't want to get that and spend a little bit of money on that to protect this brand new fence you just put in. And then last on this price sheet, I have $10 for pump armor because I'm running out of pump armor, which is just an item that helps keep my paint sprayer from getting all gummed up. So with this actual fence, you won't be able to see before and after. Lowe's messed up the order. They actually brought out 27 of the 45 pickets that I had ordered and then marked it delivered. So I'm calling them a bunch of times, and then the order gets marked delivered. And I'm like, well, obviously my order's not delivered. I'm missing $600, $700 worth of fencing. So finally I'm able to get a manager on the phone, and they're like, oh, actually, we're out of that fencing. So not only, were 10% of the ones they brought me broken and would have had to be returned anyway, they just straight up delivered half my fence and we're like, oh, it's good enough. So moral of the story, you need to make sure that you're ordering a little bit of extra. I think I realistically only needed like 39 sections of fence, but I knew that there was going to be issues when it got delivered because whoever's picking the order, they don't care. Ideally you'd want to go in and pick out the sections of fence in your 4x4s and all the material yourself, so you can go through and you make sure you're getting the best ones of them. Lowe's actually came out today and picked up the fence and the 4x4s that they delivered. And I'm just going to go ahead and return the whole order. So I'm going to run through real quick what it would cost you if you were to actually go ahead and cement the posts in, as opposed to use these supports that I was going to use. So the fencing is going to stay the same. We're going to go ahead and just assume that we're going to do the same 320 feet worth of fencing, and so that equates into 45 pickets. Instead of doing the 4x4 by 8, you're actually going to do a 4x4 by 6. So you actually just stick the 6-foot into the ground and then fill it around with concrete, as opposed to cut the 4x4x8 like I was going to do. So you have to order twice as many 4x4s, but the 4x4x6 are actually substantially cheaper. So your price only goes up just a little bit. Your hardware, screws, and level all stay the same. So I went home and pulled the fast set bags of concrete from Home Depot of what it would be. So I figured at 2 bags per hole at 45 holes, that's 90 bags of concrete, which equates to $444. And then again, either the paint or the stain's the same. And then when it comes to the pump armor, just depending if you have an airless sprayer, that one's kind of more specific to me, so I would just feel comfortable deleting that one. And then it's $80 to rent a post hole auger for a day. And realistically, I think that if you are prepared and just do all the holes and have everything all planned out, you'd be able to get it done in a day. So when it comes to fencing, that's pretty much it. There's really not a whole lot that goes into it. It's basically just finding how many linear feet you need a fence in for your yard, dividing that by 8, which is how long the fence sections are, and then adding that many 4x4s to your order, and then basically just figuring out the gates, and then deciding if I want to put concrete in, or if I want to do these post hole holder things. Just as a reminder, you may need to pull permits in your area. I had to pull one for my house. I think a majority of areas do require permits for fencing, at least within a town or village limit. And also make sure to go ahead and give your gas and electric company a call, because that'll probably save you a whole lot of headache down the road, just in case you accidentally nick a line. But anyways, I hope this video was helpful. I'll catch you next video.